The next session is a double act, and Rita, I can introduce you all over again, but I think perhaps I'll avoid that. And Jack's been alluded to and has been the technocrat here through the morning, but perhaps I'll just say, for those who don't know him, just a little bit about him. He is, of course, the former student of Ifor and Joy, of the two, and while he was at Guildford between 1955 and 1958, Jack went on to be in charge of, or set up and be in charge of schools of photography in Derby and Manchester Polytechnic. And in 1982, he donated the memorabilia which belonged to Joy and Ifor to the...
Given it in 1982.
You were given it in 1982, sorry. That's right, indeed. There are several other things I could reveal to you about Jack. Some of them are obvious, like his taste in trousers. Some are less obvious. He's plays, I think, at least three jazz instruments. Is that correct?
Attempt to play.
Yes. So we now have our eye on you, Jack, for a future concert. Jack and Rita, the stage is yours.
Prydain da, hoffwn I ddangos I gystadlu Ifod I fyfyrio, sorry about that, and Guildford and 50. I think Ifor would have been, and Joy would have been awfully pleased that I've made an attempt to speak Welsh, and so this is my tribute to them in their memory. We aim to show something of the student experience at Guildford in the 50s. Before I start on the bits and pieces, it's worthwhile pointing out that this is by way of a tribute to the technical staff. I've been for weeks a real picky bastard about quality, because what Ifor stood for was the quality of image, the quality of prints, the quality of things we did. So what we've done and achieved here, I think, with the aid of the marvellous technical staff here, we've tried to get the best quality to show you, because I didn't want any of you coming and saying, well, we've been brought here to talk about quality, but it isn't on the screen. We've done our utmost to reproduce Guildford quality. So I'm going to hand over now to Rita, and we'll cycle a few pictures while she's talking.
As you know, we have so much material come to us from various sources over the last 3 years, much more than we can possibly show in one short festival. Jack estimates that the proportion of researched work to the current material lodged at the National Library at present is approximately 60 to 40. I don't know, but it sounds about right. We hope eventually to bring it all together as one source of information, or possibly several. We might be looking for a publisher, producing a DVD, and possibly trying to get somebody involved in producing the film that, well, not the film, but, you know, Henry Lewis's idea of a film to honour Ifor and Joy's work. This may well come about now with so much material at our disposal. During a 3-year period, we have scanned over 1,000 items, most of them digitally enhanced to recreate the quality which characterised the high standard of work produced. Now, what have we got here? Jack and I went with Jennifer. Yes, we visited Llangennydd. It's about over 2 years ago now, I think. Jennifer came and met us there, and we all stayed down for about 3 days. And during the period of time we were there, we also went over to Cross Hands to explore the places that Ifor had known as a child, and of course that's where the photographs, some of which you've seen already, you know, chapels and graves and houses and so on, they were taken on that occasion. And here we have some of this on the screen is actually Ifor and, a photograph from the archive of...
We think it was Ifor's.
Yes, looking down onto Llangennydd beach. And what Jack sought to do was to sort of recreate, I think he shot, they're all in black and white, we photographed the seashore. And one of the first things, Jack got a stick when we went, and he wrote Ifor and Joy in the sand, and we got that right, and took some photographs of that until the waves came and washed it away. That's one of Jack's shots, looking over towards Rosilly, and it's got the same sort of plants and so on, obviously, that crop up in Ifor's photographs. So it was nice to do that, and it really got us started, because I knew the Gower, but I didn't know Llangennydd particularly. This, of course, is the photograph. It may have been seen in my PowerPoint of Joy. This is the one that, yes, Sophie Duncan picked up online. And Jack went as a student to Surrey, Sutton Place, wasn't it? Which was there, but later became the home of the fabulously wealthy Getty family. And now belongs to a Russian billionaire. They own most of Surrey, I gather, as well as London, the Russians at the moment. Anyway, so that was a very important picture, because if that hadn't been picked up by Sophie online, again, you know, we don't know none of this. We keep saying this about the Duncan family, but it's true. These little things might seem very trivial, but actually very important. These are two of the photographs which I personally have chosen to use when I'm sending off stuff to, you know, we have a Facebook group, and we have British Photo History presence on British Photo History website, and various things. I've had articles published, some of you may have seen in the last edition of Cambria, and these two photographs, I just think they're very strong images. They're at the height of their you know, their influence and their working lives. I just think they're super fun. In fact, I realised the other day that the one of Ifor actually is stamped with a Ryman's stamp on the back. It had passed me by for a long time, but that comes from, you know, very early days, obviously, that particular one. Pardon? Yes. Yes, well, there's a motley collection of prints, drawings, writing, negatives, established a context reflecting the significance of the Thomases' contribution to photographic education in the 20th century. They could be regarded as the foremost teachers of photography, well, that's certainly in the UK at that time, whose influence spread worldwide in both film and still photography. And the Bauhaus connection via Ryman's is particularly significant and very gratifying. And you obviously heard Professor Sugar address that whole area this morning. And here we're
talking about the RCA here, and that John set up the RCA, and we fed from other art colleges, we fed students to his course because it was the best course in the country. And if our students were aspired to excellence, they went to join John's course in the Royal College.
Oh, this is obviously, one of these photographs is from a book of stuff from the Bauhaus. That's the shoes, and the other one is one of Ifor's photographs. I put them together because the diagonal lines of identical things just made me think that it was a good example of, but there was quite a lot of stuff which could have been used. This is a double exposure from Ryman's. I thought it was quite interesting. It's very early. This is Ifor teaching. His teaching theory at Ryman's. I don't know whether Professor Sugar showed not this identical photograph.
I think from a magazine.
Was it a similar?
Art and Industry, I think.
Yes, it was a photograph.
Was it the same
we got
photograph?
The original. Yes, we have the original on negative, which we scanned.
He's teaching optics, the optics of image formation, it says. And I think it's a nice photograph.
It's really quite interesting that Ifor multi-talented aspect spread to the theory of photography as well as the practice. And I hadn't realized until I saw this picture that he knew the physics, the chemistry, the whole boiling, and he was able to put it over in his usual way.